Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. This is one very excited mole trap coming to you with another audio commentary, and this is going to be very cool. That's JangBi right there, by the way. This is first of all, before I get started, this is Group B of the MSL, the Arena MSL, and I'm going to be doing this whole group from start to finish. And so, if you're just starting this off, if you're watching this as they come out over the next few days, then I'm probably not going to finish the whole thing tonight. When you see this one go up the next day, I'll probably end up finishing them at some point. If you're watching this a couple days later, as soon as I finish all the games, I'm going to make a playlist. So check to see if you're watching this a couple days later, like on Saturday, check to see if there's a playlist. You should be able to just watch through all the games in this grouping all on that playlist there. In any case, yes, this is going to be very fun. This is Group B of the MSL. This is the All Protoss group. And I believe this is Anytime right here. Yeah, Anytime's going to be at the kind of 3 o'clock position, and JangBi is going to be at the 6 o'clock position in red. And yeah, this is All Protoss group. And so, by the way, even though I'm going to be doing all these games here, but because it's All Protoss, it's going to be 5 Protoss versus Protosses in a row. And first of all, I think Protoss versus Protoss is awesome. Some people think it's boring, but I think it's actually pretty cool because it comes down to eliteness. Basically, you can just sit there and you can actually watch the eliteness happen, and it's just cool because I mean, oftentimes the builds are so similar that they come down to just micromanagement, just by themselves. You can see the micro just eking out a difference. One player microing a little bit better than the other. And so, because it is all Protoss versus Protoss, I'm going to probably spend a little bit of the first game or two. I know a lot of you guys are going to know exactly how micro works on Protoss versus Protoss, but I figure since I'm going to be doing so much of it anyways, I'll give kind of an introduction to Protoss versus Protoss in general on these first couple games. So that way, people that aren't too familiar with it, they can enjoy the whole set, and they'll kind of know a little bit more what's going on for the future games, kind of an investment, I guess, if you will. This is Athena, by the way, a 3-person map, and you can see both players are actually going to scout the non-existent position spawn point there, and they're going to see each other's probes. That's kind of cute. And let's see, it looks like JangBi saw that probe scouting there, and he decided not to even scout that spot. And Anytime actually decided to continue to scout that spot, although the way it was, it's possible Anytime looked over and just at the wrong moment and saw JangBi's probe coming away from there and thought that it might have been coming out of there to scout initially. So, yeah, JangBi's going to get a little bit of a quicker scout in, but it's not going to make too big of a deal. Now, first of all, again, just to kind of cover in a general sense, there's basically a few different kind of main things that you see in Protoss versus Protoss. You either see 2 gates. Basically, they'll make 2 Stargates right away. Oh, and that little delay cost Anytime. Now he's not going to get a scout in there. JangBi was able to get a Zealot on that ramp, and he's not going to be able to scout in there. Although it looks like Anytime is bringing his Zealot over to try and help squeeze that scout through to get in there. So yeah, basically you can either go for 2 gates, or you can go for 1 gate into tech, and then after you do the tech, there's kind of a few different ways to go as well, and I'm kind of simplifying this a little bit too much, but well, not too much, but I'm simplifying it to make it a little bit easier to understand. So once you get your 1 gate into tech, you can usually the kind of like the standard safe thing to do is go range goons into obs and get observers out, and then get range goons, especially if you have a ramp, like on a map like this. You do have a ramp to work with. You usually see it a lot because it's so easy with a couple zealots and some range goons at the top. It's so easy to hold that ramp against any ground attack that might come. For instance, we saw Stork get owned by, I don't even remember who that was, some random Protoss, because there was no ramp, and he went range goons with obs, but the other Protoss just went 4-gate goons. And just overpowered him because he didn't have that ramp to hold it. So, but with this build, you can, yeah, with the normal range goons and obs, you can do that. Now let's see. Okay, yeah, robotics facility going down for Anytime. So then you usually go for observers. The other possibility is you can go for a Dark Templar rush, That's something that you can also see. And then sometimes you'll do kind of a combination of both, where you get a Dark Templar. There's a pretty common build that I've seen a lot lately where it works out really perfectly, where the second gateway comes up right when the Templar Archives comes up, and the shuttle comes out, and it all works out so you can drop a couple Templar very, very quickly. I've seen a few different players do it, so I don't know exactly how the build works, but it's a very refined build that a few different players are using these days. So yeah, and then, but you don't always go into observers. Usually you'll see both players go for robotics facilities pretty quickly, and then it's going to come down to if you want to go for observers first, betting they might have Dark Templar, or you could also hope they don't get Dark Templar and go for your Reavers first, and then you might have your Reaver out sooner, but then if they go for Dark Templar, you might not have your Observers out in time. So it's kind of like if Zerg versus Zerg is rock, paper, scissors, then Protoss versus Protoss is rock, paper, scissors, cardboard tube, pen, towel rack, coat hanger. Okay, I don't know exactly how all that stuff is, but what that means. But the point is that there's a lot more variations, a lot more possibilities that are going to make more of a difference. Whereas in Zerg versus Zerg, it's just, pool versus pool. And by the way, we see here that Anytime has gone for, like I said, he got that, he actually got the robotics facility out before his second gateway. So a little bit riskier, I guess, in that sense. He wanted to get his tech out quicker, but in that case, he had a few less forces. Although the distance that it took for JangBi to walk over to him, he made up that tech, and you can see the micro going on here. Just beautiful micro on both players' parts, honestly. JangBi attacking and falling back, and you can see Anytime targeting and moving forward and attacking and moving forward and attacking. Both players have gone for the observers. I'm not even sure if we're going to see... Well, we'll probably see Reavers at this point, since they both have their robotics facilities up. I don't know why I started to say that. But yeah, so now Anytime has the troops advantage. He's going to chase JangBi back to his base. And yeah, so you can see by the time it gets to JangBi's base, JangBi's going to be able to set up a nice little arc here. And you can see there, okay, so here's a good example of the micro there. You saw Anytime... The Dragoon that JangBi was focus firing on, he pulled that Dragoon back. So some of the Dragoons of JangBi's tried to focus fire on that Dragoon, and they ended up running and missed a shot because of that. But JangBi saw that, and he adapted and started moving and firing again. And now JangBi, wow, look at that. Absolutely incredible, ridiculous micro on these guys' part. That's why I'm so excited about this grouping. This is going to be absolutely epic grouping. These are basically, I would say, 4 of the top 6 Protoss players in the entire world. Free, honestly, I would put down at like number 6, but he's still up there. But yeah, these are top Protoss players. This is going to be absolutely... Protoss versus Protoss can be boring when it's one-sided or when the Protoss don't know what they're doing. But these guys all definitely know what they're doing. Like, these are all the top-notch Protoss players, and we can expect to see a lot of good play out of both of them here. So yeah, it looks like Anytime has already expanded. JangBi is expanding as well. So it's going to stay pretty even there on that account. Yeah, by the way, also, if you haven't seen it yet, Much and JangBi actually played in the Pro League the other day, and that was one of the closest, for the first half of the game at least, first 3 quarters of the game, it was one of the closest Protoss versus Protoss matches I've ever seen. Both players, at the end of the battle, both players had like 1 unit left. It was absolutely crazy how they were so closely matched. I won't say who won in case you want to go watch that, but it was pretty intense. Both players just staying really even here. Both players have their expansions up now as well.